All right. How y'all doing out there, and what is going on today? It is Sunday. It is July 25th, and here's your boy, Uncle Steve, here on the Sunday to bring you into the weekend and bring a close to the weekend, I should say, whether you're in the Atlanta Bird game, the outstanding, most passionate Atlanta Falcon group out there. Trust me, I have been parts of many, but this one is the best group ever. So we're going to talk Atlanta Falcons group. Also, don't forget, if you get an opportunity, go over to Uncle Steve's Lounge on YouTube. You'll get a replay of what we just did. And also, we have extra content for other sports on there if you get a chance. And we appreciate you all joining us. Always a pleasure to follow my brother Tidy as he breaks down things for some of you fans who may not quite get it today about the elite quarterbacks. I was right there with him, and especially the part where he was saying about giving Mike Vick a pass. It's almost one of those things where I don't want to just be the yep guy, but I have to be the yep guy. He's absolutely correct. We went through all those transitions and things during that time. Mike Vick, truly, he had some moments, but if we're going to give Matt Ryan a lot of the business, we got to give Mike the business too, because Mike didn't show up on a lot of occasions when we needed him to. He was exciting. He put people in the stands, but he's absolutely right as far as that's concerned. You are spot on when it comes to that. Today, what I wanted to talk about, and we're going to open up the phones for the first time in a long time here at 1-877-747-2346. But I'll set the stage first before y'all start calling in. I don't want to make sure I set the story right. Folks, it is July 25th. We've had a long offseason, and the offseasons become longer when you're coming off of a losing campaign. 4-12 is not easy. And when you think about it, we hadn't been 4-12 in quite a long time. So how this fan base deals with your franchise after a losing season. Unfortunately, we've had way too much practice the last 2 years. I'll say this, coming off of a 7-9 season, which is still a losing season. So before y'all start, it's still a losing. I get that. But coming off 7-9 was, where you're kind of like, well, we're one play here and one play there. We're 9-7. We are in the playoffs and all bets are off. When you're 4-12, I think this is the loudest that I've heard from the outside, where you start talking about what things need to be done, who needs to go, who needs to stay, who needs to come in free agency, who do we need to try to trade for. We got all of that this offseason. So now, this week, come Tuesday, that's training camp. So the difference what's going to happen now is our team is on the field. Before everything starts, we're going to have people that are going to get hurt. We're going to have people that We're going to cut. We have fan favorites that, whether they're undrafted or drafted, that may not make this team. And there are going to be a few transactions that are going on during that last week that we weren't prepared for. So my thing right now, this is the last Sunday before Falcons Nation comes back together. And I say Falcon Nation, I'm talking about the players, I'm talking about the fans, I'm talking about everybody. This is the last week before that starts on Tuesday. This is your opportunity today. This is your opportunity to get everything off your chest. Because once these guys get on the field and start practicing, folks, this is our team. And if it's not your team, you need to, let us know and we'll get you up out of here. It's time now to get this stuff started. And come Tuesday, I'm not going to want to hear everything about things we're going to talk about in a few minutes. I'm gonna tune you out, scroll past. All offseason, we've had opportunity for that. Now it's time to get real. Now it's time to support our team. So starting Tuesday, I don't know about anybody. I'm not going to speak for anybody else as far as admins. I'll speak for people on Uncle Steve's Lounge on YouTube. Please subscribe if you get a chance. But I'm trying to tell you right now, starting Tuesday, July 27th, it's all about the Atlanta Falcons. And I'm going to be having those pom-poms that I've been criticizing everybody else for having when it comes to my team. So today, let's see what we got. Let's see what is on your mind as far as those last off-season gripes. The last ones, y'all. And we're going to put it in a nice little bow and see if we can move it up out of here. Last one. Last time. Now, let me make sure you understand me. I'm not telling you this the last time I'm ever going to criticize the Falcons. I'm not going there. What I'm telling you is, as far as things we're going to talk about, and I'm sure you all are going to bring this up, but certain people that we talk about, certain situations that we're talking about, taboo to the Atlanta fan base, and especially in the Atlanta Bird gang. We need to erase all that mess out of here. Let's get to the business of supporting this team. I'm looking at everything. I saw a post that my brother Tidy put up about expectations for this Falcon team. I had magazines last week, Athlon and Lindy. Folk, they don't expect us to do anything. So as a fan base, we need to come together and show them, nah, this is our team. You're not going to tell me you're not going to tell me my team's not going to be successful. You're not going to tell me that our fan base isn't going to rally behind my team. That starts Tuesday. Today, get it off your chest. Get everything off your chest. Let's talk about it as a group and see what we got going on. Kenzel, how you doing, sir? Say, I need one of those Bird Gang t-shirts. If you check the Atlanta Bird Gang on the front page, and it's pinned right at the front, that will give you all the information you need on how to get a t-shirt. And I know my brother Tidy, if you're out there, maybe you can stick that link in the comments for me so my man and other people can get in here and get those t-shirts. I am going to be at the Atlanta Falcons practice at Mercedes-Benz Stadium, the only stadium called Mercedes-Benz now, as the New Orleans place has sold out to the casino, but the only stadium representing the NFL as far as football is concerned. What's going on, brother Winston? How are you? How are you, Lisa? Good to see you. Greetings to you, brother David. Mark, how are you? Mercy Law says Mike is not here no more. And I'm trying to think maybe he's talking about Mike Vick. Ease Brown says, what's going on, Uncle Steve? How you doing, Ease? Lisa, football is almost here. You going to Flowery Branch or the Bench for open practice? I will not be able to make the Saturday open one for the 31st, Lisa. I will absolutely be at the one at Mercedes-Benz with my Atlanta Bird Game t-shirt. Folks, if you are there, please make sure, if you have a t-shirt, or even if you don't have a t-shirt, please make sure we try to interact with each other. If y'all see me, please, tap me on the shoulder. Don't grab me too hard because I got reflexes. But if you happen to see me, I'll have my Atlanta Bird Game t-shirt on. Please make sure you stop by and say hello so I can see some of these faces behind some of the names I see every time. This is the time for us to bond it together, folks. Football season is here. We have no more NBA finals. I don't know how you feel about baseball, but I'm at the 162 games. I'll deal with it come playoff season. I support my Atlanta Braves. I hope we do well, but at the end of the day, they're kind of right now. But folks, it's time to rally behind this Atlanta Falcons team. And we're going to do that starting Tuesday. So if there's any gripes y'all have to talk about the offseason of the Atlanta Falcons, and I have a couple too. We'll start it off. I'll have a couple. My brother Brandon, what's going on? Dante Fowler, get off the bus this year. Look, that excellent. Look, Dante has to show up this year. The money that he was paid, and I understand he did do some things different with his contract, but let's face it, he was hurt. I know he was hurt, but when he was out there, I need you to show up. Outstanding way to get us started. Tidy, thank you very much for putting the link on there. Anybody who wants to get a t-shirt, please hit that link. We thank y'all for your participation in that. Just a great way to get this fan base. Folks, I think we have an outstanding fan base in this group. I love the opinions. I know there are other groups I'm trying to tell you, they come at. You say one bad thing about number 2, and you get reported, and you get ostracized, and all of that. I love the freedom of opinion here, respectfully, of course. That's what this whole thing is about. And from the time our season ended in early January up until today, we've had a lot of time to stew, a lot of time to think about things. So now is that time, come Tuesday, for us to bond together. Bring other people in, those folks who've been dormant for the last 6 to 7 months. Bring them back. Tell them, say, we're back. We're getting the band back together. Everybody is going to be on one accord as far as our support is concerned. I'm not telling you how to criticize schemes, players, stuff like that. But the support for this team should be paramount. I'm not trying to see anything about a Justin Fields and what he's going to do, as much as I pounded the drum to bring him up in here. Because you know why? Justin Fields is with Chicago Bears. As much as I praise the legend of Julio Jones and what he brought to this organization and what he did at the wide receiver slot, there may not be another that ever does it like that in Atlanta Falcons history, but he plays up 75 now. He is no longer here. So any of that I see, I'm scrolling forward. It's time to support these guys that we have here. It's time to get behind number 2. It's time to get behind Ridley as he truly, officially becomes the number 1 receiver on this team. It's time to rally behind Mike Davis and Cordell Patterson and Quadre Allison, and hoping that they can bring this running game to a next level. We have to do that, folks. Nobody else is going to do it. Nobody else from the outside thinks that the Atlanta Falcons are going to be anything this year. I think I saw the prediction thing online. 5 wins this year. we don't have anything to show them that think we're going to be more than 5 wins, So in the immortal words of G Money from New Jack City, man, we all we got. Did y'all like that? I did that. Anybody remember that movie? Okay. So David Starr says, to hell with Julio Jones. Well, I'm not going to send the man to hell, but I understand what you mean. Julio Jones is not here anymore. So, yeah, all that talk, kick that to the curb. Brother Dwayne, okay, I will start. Why did we not do a full rebuild? Dwayne, I believe, very good question, by the way. I believe the financial situation that our former general manager, Thomas Dimitroff, left us in really kind of hamstrung us from doing things like we wanted to. Jacksonville Jaguars, when you think about them, they're the space, the cap space they had, and of course, the riches of the draft picks, of course, helped them. And I'm not trying to say Jacksonville is going to turn it all around and go 10-7. But what I'm saying, it opened up the opportunity for them to do a lot of spending. The folks up north who beat us in the Super Bowl a few years ago, after they got rid of Tom Brady, with Tom Brady, yeah, it was also an age thing, but it was kind of a financial move as well. They had plenty of money to use. And you know what they did this year? They went out and got a lot of free agents, knowing that folks are coming back, and they're going to be a team to be reckoned with this year. I'm not saying that they're favored in the AFC East, but I think they're going to be a team to reckon with. Hold on one second. All of a sudden, my voice got scratchy. I don't know what happened with that. But that's one of the reasons, Dwayne. That's why I think we were half and half. Kyle Pitts, I understand why you made the move. Did I agree with it? No. Again, not Tuesday yet, so we airing our grievances. I still don't agree with that. Had a conversation with a couple of guys that came over and fellowship with me yesterday. And one of the more rabid Matt Ryan fans still was singing that song about sitting on the bench for 2 years while we let Matt Ryan's contract expire. And I was trying to explain to him, it's not about letting the contract expire. It's about bringing somebody in, bringing in the future now, while we had an opportunity with a high pick to get him acclimated with Flowery Branch, get him acclimated to the way things are done around here, get the new regime and the quarterback who is always the face of your franchise, get them on the same step. So yes, even if Matt Ryan happened to end up starting this year, that we could move that forward. That was one of the things I did, probably my biggest gripe of the year, but not going in that direction. But I am glad that if we didn't go in that direction, we did go with what could be a generational tight end as far as our franchise is concerned, with Kyle Pitts. I think he really looks good. What's going on, brother Anthony? Good to see you. Good to see you, man. Lisa says, I'm there at the Benz. Okay, sounds good. Brandon, praying for a healthy season. And Brandon, I tell you, that's one of the things that coming into training camp, folks, these aren't the shorts and T-shirts anymore. These aren't the little photo ops where you see people going up for passes and nobody can touch them and things. These guys actually are going to hit each other and there are going to be some injuries, folks. These are the times that we're going to hear that, oh, they're going to be out for 3 or 4 weeks. Oh, they're going to be out. And also the nasty little COVID thing that still is around. I don't know who's been vaccinated. They say the Falcons. I think I saw the word. If I'm not mistaken, did I see 80% for the Falcons? I'm not sure. But really, I don't want to get into the if you should vaccinate, if you shouldn't. That's a personal decision. I know the NFL has set up some things that make it really hard for those who are not vaccinated to move around freely. Listen, that's a business. Those folks have to look out for their business. We can play that over and over again. I'm not going to criticize the NFL for trying their best to look out for their product. And that's simple. But as far as healthy season, that's what we need, Brandon. Absolutely. Brother D-Beck say, amen. Kenzel, how y'all feel about Geno Atkins coming home to Atlanta if they sign him to a contract? I wouldn't mind. I mean, if the price is right, and that's basically what we're talking about. Going back to the question that Dwayne asked earlier, listen, if we were in great financial shape, and we're not in great shape, we can pick up an emergency person if we can shape. But right now, we have to be smart. And as much as people don't want to hear this, we have to be smart for going to the next step. 2022, 2023. We are always striving to be a better team coming up this year, but we have to be frugal. We can't go out there and spend a lot of money. I already hear, I saw people online when they hear the rumors about Chandler Jones and he's not happy with his contract. Well, folks, we're in Atlanta. He's making $15 million this year on his last year. What would make you think in any scenario that we would be able to not only get him to trade here, knowing that he's not going to make the money he's asking for? He's asking them to redo his contract. We can't give him that kind of money. So let's stop pretending like we're in that game. Right now, we're trying our best to piece together a team that can be competitive for 2021. I think our best chances are going to be next year to say, hey, let's really make this push. I think this year we're just trying to, quite frankly, put together some parts of the puzzle that were left scattered by Thomas Dimitrov in the last regime. And that's what I'm really more concerned with. I apologize. I got caught up here. Let's see. Brother Anthony said, I'm just wondering if we will make a last-minute pickup and try to help rebuild this pass rush, which was kind of the same thing Kenzel was saying. Listen, I think there are guys out there. I don't think Justin Houston was picked up. So that's another name out there in addition to Geno Atkins, who could definitely help on the inside with your interior lineman. So I would not mind us picking up some veteran help. But also remember, at the end of the month, at the end of August, when people are making their cuts, there are going to be some surprise cuts that might come off the board too. So before we invest in folks that we're not sure about, there are going to be a lot of folks on the cut list that we're able to bring along too. So don't spend your money quite yet. Let's see what we got going on. Brandon says New England has got problems. Buffalo and Miami are on their tail. Absolutely. Well, actually, you flip it around. New England is on their tail because Buffalo and Miami finished better than them. Dre, what's going on, Dre? Steve, how do you feel what the Vikings did to their assistant coaches fair? And it gets back to the COVID thing, and you all know me. I try my best to keep the political reasons for these things out of it. But I'll say this. For the NFL, their sole goal when you start talking about situations like this is to keep their players safe. And as much as folks don't want to be vaccinated, and I get it. There are folks who don't take flu shots. So this didn't just start with COVID. There are folks that don't want to take the shot. They are saying the NFL is not telling you if you don't vaccinate, you can't play on my team. But they are saying you're a bigger risk. And if you're a bigger risk, I can't have you around my team. Now, as far as the assistant coach things is concerned, which sound like it was kind of an ultimatum, I don't know enough about that situation to speak on it. But I'll be willing to bet you they probably told him, said, look, guy, I understand your stance, but this is also a private organization. You don't have to be here. The XFL will be running in another year. CFL, I think, kicks off in a little bit. You don't have to play or coach or work for the NFL. Private organizations, they don't draft coaches. They pay coaches to come in. And if you're not willing to play ball by their terms, it's up to that team whether they want to do that or not. I think it's easy to sit here and say they determined because he didn't get vaccinated to let him go. But knowing how things are sometimes, folks, I got a feeling there's a little bit more behind the story. Again, don't want to get into a situation with the Vikings that, I don't really care about the Vikings. But at the same time, I get the nature of your question. I don't really know. That's a tough one for me. That really is a tough one. Personal decisions are, personal freedoms. You have the right. But the NFL also has the right to say, you can't work for my company if certain standards aren't met. And keep in mind, folks, this fine, too, while we're at it, the fine for the players is not telling you if you don't get vaccinated, you're going to get fined. They're telling you if you decide not to get vaccinated and you break the protocol, these are the fines that we can levy against you. That's much different than telling you if you're not vaccinated, we're fining you. That's not what they're saying. They're saying we're going to respect your personal choice, but also respect our decision to say we're trying to keep the other 50 plus players healthy. And if your decision to not get vaccinated is in a direct conflict with what we're trying to accomplish, then you're going to get fined. So, again, people have a funny way of twisting this. Nobody's saying don't get the vaccine. For DeAndre Hopkins, I understand, my brother. I understand what you're saying. But nobody is putting a gun to your head to say you have to be the wide receiver for the Arizona Cardinals. Nobody is trying to strap you to a chair that says you have to earn $25 million this year. If you feel so strong about it, leave. It's plain and simple. But that's my diatribe. David says, Marlon Davidson, we spent the second round pick on you. We need you on the field and productive. Your best ability is your availability. And I tell you what, and it's hard because we haven't really seen much of him, but it's very fair. We got to see you on the field, man. We got to see you on the field. This comes into one of those situations where we were talking about the players that make the most noise and do the most chirping before the season. And then when the season starts, we don't see them. I understand the injuries. I understand the COVID situation. But at the same time, put it on the field. We're tired of hearing about pregame stuff and offseason stuff, or what you gonna do and how you gonna do it, and I'm gonna eat and I'm a dog and all that. That don't mean anything if you're not on the field. Not a thing. Robin, how you doing? How do you feel about Darby and Ollison? I was just talking about people who've talked a lot. I like Darby, and I actually liked Darby when he was at Arizona State. He helped Herm Edwards out there. I like his speed. I'm kind of wondering, aside of him, I'm wondering why he went so late. Was it that much wide receiver talent above him that put him in a sixth round position? There were a lot of wide receivers that were picked, but it's always, I would really like to be a fly on the wall for the scouting to see how they truly had Darby placed. But for him to go sixth round, it makes me wonder what they saw that made you think he shouldn't have been second round material or third-round material. That's the only thing that kind of scares me about him. Other than that, I love his passion and love some of the things I've seen from him. He's saying the right things. Goes back to all that is great. You're playing media, which is super, but I want to see it on the field. And now with number 11 out of the mix, we're going to need every young receiver to step it up another level on this team. Hopefully Darby makes the team. As far as Allison is concerned, I think Allison can be as good as his opportunities are allotted for him. He didn't get an opportunity under the last regime to get out there, whether it was Dan Quinn at the beginning or whether it was Raheem after he took over. It just seemed like he fell out of favor. He got more opportunity at the end of 2019 at the end, which he had some flashes, scored, I think, 2 touchdowns that year, showed some flashes that he could be that guy. So hopefully the Falcons will afford him some opportunities. That's my biggest take from that. Brandon says, Kendall Sheffield, get off the bus this year. Yeah, Kendall's been here too long. The excuses are running out for Kendall. Brother Tidy says Falcon players at 92% outstanding, vaccinated currently. So that's great. So hopefully we don't have a lot of those issues. Brandon, Oliver start like you ended the season last year. And Brandon, that's the second time we've said that for him, because at the end of the 2019 season, it was the same thing. He played a nice end of that year as well, but we need you to start. And the same thing for the Falcons. The Falcons have to get a great start. I'm not trying to automatically put a loss in there. It's going to be hard to go into Tampa Bay coming off that Super Bowl win, barring some major injuries, and get a win in week 2. But week 1, you're against the Philadelphia Eagles, who are half step better than you at 4-11-1. You've got to come out and do something. You've got to come out and get our first season opening win since 2017. You've got to. That win at the beginning of the season will do so much for not only this fan base, but for the new regime coming in saying, hey, this is a start. You've got to do better coming out the box. Dre says Chandler Jones asked to be traded. Do we go after him? We can't. I'm sorry. Not Chandler Jones. That's a lot of money. We already have one guy that we just in Dante Fowler where we just made that mistake. Chandler Jones is not coming to Atlanta via trade, knowing he's not going to get paid. Unless he just decides, hey, I'm going to come there to just, play for the 1 year before I leave. Now, I don't know what his cap hit my buddy Toddy is on right now. Toddy, you know where we go for that. What is his cap hit this year? Is all that money guaranteed? Is that a base salary where all of that is a hit? We can't afford to absorb $15 million. That's what he's owed for Arizona. Usually when you're in the final year of a deal, it's usually not broken down for bonuses. I would imagine that most of that 15 million is guaranteed. So I don't know. Brandon, offensive line, y'all need to stop slapping folks. Hopefully we can get some better production off the offensive line. Hey, there was some reality checks as some offensive linemen were brought in here through the draft and in free agency. I think there's going to be an emphasis on, 1, protecting Matt, and 2, getting this run game restarted. Because that's the thing, as much as we have not all the sense out of Matt Ryan with the sacks he's been taking, we've got to get better protection for him. And then on the other side, we must make holes. We must make holes for our running back. We've got to. Something has to be done differently, and it will be. Might just take a little more time than folks think. What's up, RJ? How you doing, sir? Brandon says defensive line, grow a pair, let them hang. Hey, defensive line, you can really say that for the whole defense. But I understand where you're going. The defensive line has to do well. We actually didn't do horrific against the run if you go look at it. We did not do that bad against the run, but we need some pressure. And I think that's where you're going. We need some pressure on the quarterback. Dean Pease is brought in here, highly sought after, to bring him out of retirement, to come here and do this thing. I'm sure he's not going to come here just to get a paycheck. His reputation is on the line. I think he's going to do some good things with some mediocre talent on this team. Brother Dwayne says, thanks for the feedback on the rebuild based off Arthur's philosophy of running the ball. Do you think Pease can get us off the field defensively? He has to. That's his sole goal in life, to not let these 6 and 7 minute drives wear us down and then turn around and give the ball back to the offense, and we go 3 and out and put the defense right back on the field again. How y'all doing out there? I got a caller coming in. Caller, how you doing? Identify yourself for me.
How you been doing? This is Flying High Podcast.
What's going on, Ron? How you doing? That's Ron Thomas here from Flying High Podcast. Ron, how we doing? This is our last offensive gripe, brother. What do you have as far as your off-season gripe, your biggest one, before we bring this thing together as fans in a couple of days?
Our offensive line need to step up. They need to step up. And Matt Ryan need to step up this year. Because if Matt Ryan don't step up, we don't have a good year.
Right. I think there's a clear emphasis being made on trying to get this, get this thing rectified on the offensive line. Our running game has been non-existent. And even with the investment in Todd Gurley last year, which we thought would pay dividends, it did not. I think we really start needing to think about just doing everything in our power to get us a true run game this year.
Right.
That, as far as what do you look forward to as far as the training camp is concerned? What's your biggest training camp concern going into this 2021 season?
Pass rush. We need pass rushers this year. Dante Flower, you need to step up. You're getting paid all that money. You made excuses last year. You got to bring it this year. No ifs, buts about it.
Right. I don't blame you one bit. And Ron, I'm going to let you go. We got some other folks on here. Thank you very much, brother. Flying High Podcast. That's our brother, Ron Thomas. Y'all go and support him. Brother, have a great Sunday this week. I see some other questions on here from brother. I see Brother Chauncey on the line. What's going on, brother? Glenn is here with us today. Good to holler at you, man. Cam says Darby is fragile. I had a chance to coach him at ASU. So maybe that's what it is. Maybe he's like, I was going to say he was a little lighter. I wasn't looking at his numbers, but hopefully getting into a pro system, getting with this weight, strength and conditioning here in Atlanta, that'll get him ready for what's going to be a rigorous 17-game schedule this year. Remember that extra game, that's a big deal. My brother Jason, what's going on, man? That's because they're up in Philadelphia. I got much love for him, except on September 12th when he's going to bring those Philadelphia Eagles down to our town. I know he's probably off the struggle as well with his 4-11-1 team. But I know he's going to get a chance. Hopefully, we might need to get you on, Jason, right before the season starts so I can get a perspective from up north. I got a couple of guys down here, but none of my folks I'm close to, man. Brother, thank you for checking in. Dre says Smith better not call that dang slant pass all the time like Quinn did. Let's hope not. Brandon says wide receiver room, we need a number 2. I think you got a number 2 engaged. Listen, wide receivers aren't quite made in a day. I know we've had receivers that have stepped in and become that guy where you talk about Julio stepped in and right away results. Calvin stepped in right away and results. Remember, Roddy didn't step in right away and do the things he eventually ended up doing a couple of years later. Yes, because of Mike Vick, maybe he didn't get an opportunity to develop like he should, but most wide receivers usually take 1 or 2 years to kind of get things going. I think Russell Gage has been an excellent find in the draft and has paid dividends. Last year, 70 catches. You can't sneeze at that, man. He gave us some good, solid play last year, especially in the absence of Julio Jones for quite a bit of the year. Dre says, shout out to Greg Knapp, RIP to him, and a great coach in history. Listen, man, I that was so sad to hear what happened to him. And, folks, that's when you gotta take that ugly fan out of you and just think about his family. Dude, he's only 58. That's a young guy. And hopefully everyone up there is dealing with that. That was just not very good situation right there. Got another caller on here coming to talk to us. Caller, how you doing? Identify yourself for me.
Hey, this is Mark Hill, Steve. How you doing?
Hey, man, how's it going now? Good to holler at you, brother. How's it been going?
Going good. Riding down the road. And see, I'm a truck driver, so I got big boots. They got the dirty birds in the front of it.
There you go. There you go.
I'm ready.
There you go.
Steve,
talk to me.
If you look at it, if you take what Arthur Smith has done in the red zone, so that's where our problem was last year, red zone.
Right.
If we can at least be 3rd or 4th in red zone percentage and be at least 15th on the defense, our record should be 11-6 or better.
If we could listen, red zone is probably been one of our biggest bugaboos in the last few years, not being able to take care of that, at least since 2016. The drafting of Kyle Pitts and bringing in Arthur Smith should help. Here's my only counter to that. The weapon in the backfield of Tennessee made that so easy because the attention was brought to that running back, and that opened up so much for the tight ends there. And my buddy A.J. Brown out there in Tennessee. Don't you think that in order for us to do that, we're going to have to get a lot out of our running backs?
Oh, yeah. We're going to have to get a lot. And one thing I saw, Steve, it was earlier today. They got a YouTube video on that halfback where he came from, but that boy is bad.
You talking about the undrafted free agent we pulled out?
Yes,
yeah. I saw. I think I saw the YouTube videos. I am hoping that we surprise people on a few fronts. Not only him, maybe Felipe Franks develops into something more than a practice squad quarterback. I'm not saying that AJ McCarron is giving me any reason to think he's going to be a successor, but it would be nice if Arthur Smith is able to develop these undrafted free agents in the future stars for us. That would be outstanding.
Well, the crazy part, Steve, is that the NFL Network has got AJ McCarron as the great hope for us. And I said, well, I guess they see something that I don't see, or I don't know.
I know. Let's put it this way: if he was still the man, then Joe Burrows wouldn't be in Cincinnati right now. I know. I know that. So that's my biggest thing. My brother, I want you to be safe on them roads, man. Please, please holler at us later on, brother. It's always good hollering at your own line, man.
Yes, sir, Steve. You have a good one.
Take care, my friend.
Dirty Bird.
Dirty Bird all day, brother. Dirty Bird rising up, folks. Whatever it takes, we gonna get it. We gonna get it right. Get down here. I know I'm catching up with some of these comments. Brother Scott says, I'm excited to see what Kyle Pitts and the new coaching staff is going to do. Scott, Kyle Pitts, because again, I'm going to put it in perspective. Of course, earlier this year, before we knew about the financial strains and all this and all that, of course, I will admit that I truly thought to go out and look for our future quarterback was in our hands. I mean, it should have been the move. But now that all that's done, we have our starting quarterback. We have our system in place. I am so excited. Like he was just talking about with the red zone opportunities we have. Man, if we could squeeze 6 to 8 touchdowns out of Kyle Pitts and being able to flash some speed at tight end as well. We have speed with Hayden Hurst. I don't want folks to forget about Hayden Hurst in this whole scenario too. He's going to eat even more now that you have some attention with Calvin on the outside, Kyle Pitts on the inside. Hayden Hurst should be able to really get some good looks inside. And I look forward to seeing what he can do. I think it's going to be an awesome experience going through these first couple of years with Kyle. I look for big things. Brandon says, coaches, I believe in you, but I need to see it on game day for real. Brandon, we can go through, and that's the one thing when you try to tell people, we can go through all the what ifs, what nots, what Dean Pease can do, what Arthur Smith did at his past place. Gotta see it on the field. You said it. You gotta see it on the field. I'm all for optimism. That's what I am. I'm a fan. At the end of the day, gotta see it on the field. Every fan wants to hear Kyle Pitts is going to be the best thing since sliced bread. Gotta see it on the field. Like somebody was mentioning earlier when we were talking about Marlon Davidson and the thought, you know, when he was on the defensive line at Auburn. And boy, oh boy, we got this player that's got this dog in him, and he's talking a good game and whatever, but we never saw it on the field. It all sounds good until you get that toe to that pigskin, man, and get it started. Trey says, Matt Ryan, Julio is gone. There are other wide receivers other than him. Don't force the ball to Ridley. If he is not open, use your vision and read the field. Dre, if I think Arthur Smith is going to do one thing, he's going to get Matt Ryan to expand his vision. Now that you don't have one of the greatest wide receivers of all time on your team, and probably let's not make it, let's keep it real. Julio was probably chirping at him as well. Julio wasn't exactly sitting on the sidelines about, well, I guess he didn't throw to me. You go look at some of those cutoffs to the side. Julio was very passionate about getting that ball. So yes, expand your field, expand your vision. Look for your tight ends. Look for your wide receiver too. And let's just do some different things. I think we're going to be all right. Brother Tidy, and I appreciate you, brother. $4.6 million of dead money for Chandler Jones if traded. And it would give the Cardinals $15.5 million in cap savings. Wow, we'd be doing them a big favor. 4.6. That's interesting. Man, maybe I might change my mind now. But at the same time, I think when you start talking about financial moves right there, we're still a year away from going in the deep end on some of these guys as far as big time contracts. Chandler could play out the string with a team like Atlanta. I just don't see him at this stage of his career going to a team that's forecast to be rebuilding. As a fan, I don't want to hear that, but I don't see bigger time players coming here to do that. I don't. But I could be wrong. I'd rather ride with the folks that didn't have a choice and came here, because those are the hungry folks. Those are the folks that want the next contract. Those are the players that are looking for the next big payday. Let me go prove it on a team that's expectations are not that great, and show people I can lift this team. I can raise the level of play of this team. That's how you do that. I don't think Chandler is in that situation. I don't. Corey, how you feeling, brother? Good to see you stopping in the line. Brandon said Pitt's got to get 6 to 8 touchdowns to justify the pick, at least. Dre says Brady's knee is on the chopping block. Not wishing bad luck, but hey, one hit to that leg and he might be done. Hint, hint. I'm sure Brady realizes that as well, because look, I had, and by no means am I a pure athlete, but I had my MCL, and you can walk and function on a torn MCL. You can. It's not hard. You will have moments of pain, but you can actually function on it. Doing what he does is kind of amazing that he went all season with that, if the reports are true that he went all season. Yeah, I don't know how much repairing they did to the knee, but there's no way that knee is going to get better at age 43. So they can repair it all day, but yeah, you're right. One hit in the wrong place, and Brady's career could definitely be in jeopardy. David also says defensive secondary. You can't give up the 5th most passing yards in NFL history this year, bottom line. And that goes back to getting pressure from your defensive line, getting pressure from your linebackers. Matter of fact, getting pressures from your safeties. Any way, by any means necessary, to get the quarterback to move from his spot. There were too many times last year where every NFL quarterback I saw that played the Atlanta Falcons would go to that huddle and literally, oh yeah, that's what they bringing at me for the defensive line. Woo! It'll be a good day today, because they didn't have to move. No, the majority. There were so few times where you saw quarterbacks truly had to move out of the pocket for the Atlanta Falcons, because there were probably 1 or 2 games. The Raiders game I think about last year, and then Carolina, where we put a lot of pressure on Teddy Bridgewater. There weren't that many games that we put substantial pressure on the quarterback and move them from that spot. If you don't move the quarterback from the spot, they're going to kill you. Dwayne also says Mike Davis seems to fit Smith's mold of running back, even though nobody is Henry. How do you feel the O-line fits currently what he went to do? I think going and get that Mayfield pick was a steal, folks. Don't underestimate that. And I know he was 3rd round. Don't underestimate that pick. That dude was pretty good at Michigan. Don't underestimate that. I think the competition for tackle on this team is vital. I also think that bringing him in not only could change the dynamic of the guard situation. Mayfield can play guard, and maybe we put McGarry at the other guard. You want to get as many folks as you can and as much competition as you can for those that tackle and guard position. I got a feeling they're going to stick with Hennessy for the center this year and just get him to, grow at that position. But as far as your tackles on this team, I think it's imperative for us to build a rock solid wall for pass protection and truly go out there and get some holes made for our running game. I noticed the weight. If you remember back in the 2016, we didn't have a lot of big boys on the line. Some of these guys on this line now got a little weight on them. So I think they're truly trying to build, I won't say a mauling offensive line, but I think the direction we're going is to build a tough offensive line that will make holes, not, cut holes like the cut block system. I think these guys are one-on-one. I'm going to push you out of the way. I think that's how Arthur Smith is going to do it. Corey says the season will go how the O-line go. That's the bottom line. Brother Mo, how you doing, sir? He did it because you damn near can't touch the quarterback. The old NFL is not happening. Bottom line. You're right about that. Tom Brady, man. Tom Brady, I just can't. I don't know. Just an amazing guy. Love you too, cuz. I see you out there, man. Yeah, we'll try to set that up and get that going. Brother Greg, what's going on? Greg is talking to us on the YouTube channel. Folks, I want y'all to make sure y'all subscribe to there. I guess I can let it out of the bag a little bit. I'm going to start doing live pre-games at the Dome. And the only way I'm going to do that is do it on the YouTube channel. So you guys, if you get a chance, and I'm not saying this just to steer away, my Atlanta Bird Gang is my home, and that's where I definitely spend more time there. But I'm going to be doing a lot more things on Uncle Steve's Lounge. So make sure y'all check me out and subscribe. That's where Gregory is right now. He says, with this coaching, I'm happy we're changing directions with an offensive-minded head coach. I think Matt Ryan will be a better quarterback, not having Julio to rely on. He'll have no choice but to move the ball around. And Gregory, not only do you make a very good point, I go back to, and I know we can't push things back to 5 years ago, so no, I'm not trying to relive the entire 2016 experience. But I will say that when Julio and Sanu, for that matter, missed a couple of key games in the last 4 to 5 games of the year, Matt Ryan was forced to look elsewhere. He was forced to spread the ball around. How many times that year did we hear on the game, Matt Ryan throwing the ball to 8 different receivers, 7 different receivers, 8 different receivers? When you hear those kind of numbers, that means that the defense doesn't know where he's going. He's not afraid to go out and pass to the tight end, pass to the third wide receiver, pass to the running backs coming out of the backfield. You are more dangerous as that type of quarterback than you are of loading up on your number one receiver and throwing to him 75% of the time, because the defense will shift to that area. Now, Matt Ryan and under Arthur Smith will be able to spread this ball around, keep the defense on their toes, hopefully develop a running game, and boy, it should pay dividends for Matt Ryan going forward. Because listen, we are and I believe that was Brandon who said, we are an offensive line away from being a really good team, folks. The offense is not far away. We've got to get a running game. We get a running game, you're going to see a whole new thing going on with this Atlanta Falcons team. We're not far, y'all. We're not as far as we think. I'm not going to sit here and put delusions of grandeur in your head and say we're going to the Super Bowl. But we're not far from being competitive, and probably not as far away from a 6 or 7 playoff spot if we do things the right way. but we got to see how it looks on the field. A lot of talk doesn't do anything. We got to do this thing on the field. Brother Dre says the season has not even started, and the Saints have problems with players being suspended, players hurt in the quarterback job, fighting. Hell, I think we're better than the Saints and Panthers, and we'll see what the Bucs have if they struggle against the Cowboys week 1. Week 2, we should eat them up. Dude, I hope everything you say is absolutely true. I saw New Orleans picked up our buddy Brian Poole from the Jets coming off of his year with the Jets. It's interesting. I watch your posts. I watch everybody. Oh man, we should have got Brian Poole, folks. Brian Poole was not a quarterback one in this league. Brian Poole was a nice piece in what we were doing defensively with this team. I think he was nice. There is no need to cry over spilled milk with Brian Poole. As a matter of fact, if Brian Poole lines up at one of the cornerback positions for the New Orleans Saints this year starting, I am going to get a napkin and get me some A1 steak sauce and watch the Falcons eat him up. The Falcons let him eat when he was here, and it, the Jets bought the deal for a couple of years. He didn't get re-signed for the Jets, folks. There's a reason. He was a solid nickel cornerback. He was never going to be a starting cornerback in this league, and probably with New Orleans, I think, because with Lattimore still there, I'm not sure he's going to be starting either. But I'm not overly impressed with a Brian Poole signing. But to your point, you're absolutely right. Take advantage of the woes of the Saints. I could give a rat's behind about what the Saints do this offseason. But yes, it kind of makes me smile to know that they having some problems right now with the guy that's suspended, still not knowing if Jameis is going to be the guy or Taysom Hill is going to be the guy or not. I love the fact that they're going through those problems. And I love it that they're not the favorite coming out this year. I'm not rooting for Tampa, but to hear your nemesis always being mentioned in Super Bowl talk, it kind of gets on your nerves. Brother Mo says coaches don't matter if you don't have the right personnel. Amen to that. And think about that too, Mo. As much as we are wanting Arthur Smith to be a miracle worker, we're still dealing with, let's try that again. We're still dealing with a lot of the talent that was picked by Dimitroff to come in here. A lot of talent that was overrated, and a lot of talent that contractually we're still stuck with. So you're absolutely right. You can be Bill Belichick and come on this team, but if your talent level isn't there, doesn't mean anything. Look at Bill Belichick last year. When Tom Brady left that team, you almost have to give him credit. He covered up a lot of deficiencies up in New England. Because when you think about it, there were a couple of people that left, but the defense aside of Hightower and Chung, a lot of those guys were still a lot of the players that were there before. And the defense looked kind of suspect last year. And then offensively, I mean, Cam Newton, not in his prime, is not a very good quarterback in this league. Only quarterback to rush for more touchdowns than he threw last year. So, yeah, coaching absolutely is nothing if you don't have the players. David says Saints will be down. Panthers will be down. We must be above 500 in this division this year. Those are the things I talked about last week, David. I truly believe not only with the Saints are trending downward, folks. The loss of Drew Brees, don't underestimate that. Not only talent-wise, even though his talent was waning. Don't underestimate that. I think his leadership ability with those guys is going to be missing. Who are they going to look at? Michael Thomas? And Michael is hurt and might not play the beginning of the year as well. Alvin Kamara? Maybe so. I don't know Alvin Kamara personally. I don't know if he's a rah-rah guy or he's somebody. Cam Jordan, the most front-running defensive lineman in the NFL, hadn't won one ring, and sits and brags about division championships like he plays with the Braves or something. I mean, they're going to need another voice in that locker room this year. There's some big changes in that on that team. Mo says, y'all blind. Stop being homers. We need a quarterback, fellas. Yeah, look, when you start talking about the Matt Ryan saga, listen, if I had my way, ... But right now, we start training camp Tuesday. Brother, we got to be team Matt Ryan. In order for us to succeed in 2021, folks, is Matt Ryan a bust? Am I thrilled? Not really. But Matt is our quarterback. And that's why I say get all this off your chest now. Because it's not going to do us any good throwing him in the trash before the season starts, because he's going to be the guy that's going to have to lead us, folks. He is. Dwayne, what is your prediction of our record this year? Most experts have us under 500, but we have the third easiest schedule based off last year. I always caution when I talk about easiest schedule. I think the NFC East is actually going to be a smidge better than they were. I think whoever wins that division is going to be over 500. I don't think it'll be crazy over 500. I think you might be talking somewhere in the 9-8, 10-7 range. But I think this schedule is manageable enough for the Falcons to pull off 8 or 9 wins. And in the NFC, in the NFL now with the 7 teams going to the playoffs, you should be in contention with 8 or 9 wins for a playoff year. We should. The mentality change alone should give us at least 2 more wins, bringing us to 6. And then with Arthur Blank, and when I say mentality change, meaning all that old stuff, all those folks who were gland-handed and that's my boy, because you were Thomas Dimitroff's guy. Thomas Dimitroff's guy. All those times are gone. All those guys that were benefiting from Dan Quinn's attaboy and all that stuff, those cats are gone. So Arthur Smith doesn't really care. Arthur Smith is coming in to fix this thing, and he might hurt some feelings. There's some egos that might be stepped on. So I like the fact that we have somebody new in here. That alone gives you 2 wins. Hopefully this scheme can sneak you 2 more wins. Am I going to be thrilled with 8 wins? No. But 8 and 9, 9 and 8, it'll keep me at bay for this year if that happens. Obviously, anything else, I'm going to be ecstatic. But I'll be happy with that. Cam said, whatever this man is smoking, he needs to put it down immediately and never pick it up. Brandon, Jameis is on a very short leash, a choker. Look, Jameis Winston is very close to being a bust. Think about it, y'all. He was the number 1 overall pick. And he never went to the playoffs. He had 1 winning season and was the first person to throw for 30 touchdowns and 30 interceptions in the same season. If I'm not mistaken, did he throw for 5,000 that year? I think he did. A perfect example of stats don't mean anything, for the record, for those who don't believe in that. Yeah, Jameis Winston, man. Yeah. Now, he's doing something that I haven't done, so I'm not talking about the man personally. But as far as expectations for that number 1 overall pick, folks, he hasn't lived up to it. Matter of fact, if you're a number 1 overall pick and you're on somebody else's team, I'm talking to you, Jadeveon Clowney, You're on your third team. That quantifies as discussion for bustability. If you're the number one overall pick. Dre says, hope Blank doesn't start this damn Falcon for life bull with Pitts and Ridley now that they start to fail. I have a feeling, Dre, you're going to hear a lot more from Terry Fontenot than you're going to hear from Arthur Blank. Arthur Blank, look, this is Arthur Blank's team, folks. He's got to be rah-rah for the team. The man has invested billions of dollars in the team. Not going to sit here and tell the man not to be excited or have expectations. No owner is going to come into a year and say, yeah, we drafted him, but I think he'll be gone in 4 years. Every player that he sees we draft, he wants them to be a Falcon for life. I know y'all get tired of that. I'm not saying I'm not tired of it, but what do you expect him to say? Some of y'all come out here and act like, do you want Jerry Jones as your owner? Is that what you want? Arthur Blank is unabashedly one of the biggest cheerleaders for this organization, and he just happens to write the checks. I would rather have my owner be that than to be somebody else who, we drafted that player, but I'm not sure if he's going to make it or not. Man, please. This is his team. So I understand the wanting all the rhetoric to stop. The Falcon for life, the brotherhood, the rise up, the all those things that for the last few years has fallen on deaf ears. I get that. I understand it, folks. Trust me, I get it. As I go into the stadium in 2019 and look at thousands of empty seats, trust me, I get it. But you can do worse than the owner we have right now. I like Arthur Blank. I think somebody had the nerve in the group recently to try to say that he was just like the Smith family that owned the organization. And for some of you who've been here for a while, y'all should be running to the keyboard to tell them, no, we got the right one. So, Anthony White, I'm cautiously optimistic about the upcoming season for the Falcons. I agree that competent coaching will help with the improvement of this team, but there are holes on both sides of the team. Both sides of the football on this roster. I'm stopped seeing 8 and 9 possible wins. That's right about where I am, Anthony. I don't think it's possible for this team to screw around and be 4-13 this year. I really don't. Barring catastrophic injury, in which we not going to even accept, which I hate that I even got it out of my mouth. But just talent alone and the new atmosphere, the new era of this franchise. No more coddling of players. No more you get to sit out practice because you're this person. No more of that. Now we're into, everybody practice. Everybody plays. Everybody is accountable. That's what I want to see from Arthur Smith. I don't care if you lose in the game by 10, 20 points. Accountability. Something we haven't had on this team for a long time. Walter, how you doing, man? Thank you. Yeah, that's right. Anthony said bustability. That's a good word. I don't know if it's a real word, but I'm going to try it out for size. Oh, man. Mo Lewis says, Jameis has more upside than Matt Ryan. If he was, he'd have a multi-year contract making $30 million a year. I'm not here to debate the upside of Jameis. I understand what you're saying. You're probably right. Right now, from a value standpoint, I'm not having neither one of them are probably my first choice. But facts are facts with this. Jameis Winston is with a team on the bench as Matt Ryan is leading a team into his 14th year. I'm not trying to make Ryan out to be this great, awesome current player, but I am saying I'll trust Matt Ryan more than I trust Jameis. Does Jameis have more upside? Probably because he's younger. That's probably the biggest thing. Still has a good arm. I'm not going to sit here and try to pretend like the brother doesn't have talent. But let's not try to make a comparison to Jameis to Matt Ryan at this moment. Jameis, the mere fact that we haven't heard Sean Payton 100% commit to Jameis Winston should be enough for you to say, I wonder why he hasn't done that yet. The mere fact that when Drew Brees went out of the game and you had a guy on your team with 50-plus games of experience and you trot out a little 6-foot triple option quarterback on your team to start, that should be something that you should be wondering about the upside of Jameis Winston. Now, if you want to say the ability to be able to take crab legs from a Publix, Jameis is your guy. Well, I can't even say that because he got caught. So maybe somebody else wins that argument as well. But that's not it. Lisa says, I don't think Rise Up is going anywhere. Falcons employees have it printed on their business card. And here's the thing, Lisa, when you start talking about slogans, mottos, and stuff like that, all of that returns with a winning franchise. All of that returns with success. If we start the season 3-0, you're going to see people going into their closets, taking the dust off their Rise Up shirts. You might even see a couple of people dust off some Brotherhood shirts. Yeah, I said it. Brotherhood shirts. And wear it to the games. Folks, winning breeds that stuff. For anybody who thinks slogans are the reason why a team loses, they shouldn't say Rise Up anymore. We're losing. Dude, let us have a winning season. All of that stuff comes back. Rise Up comes back. Brotherhood comes back. Shoot, the Grits Blitz will come back if the defense is good. Falcon Fever comes back. All of that. So it's all of it. Winning breeds a different atmosphere. I don't have to tell you all how awesome it was at the end of 16 and even parts of 17 to be able to root, cheer, support a winning organization. Even in the Matt Ryan early years from 08 to 12, to be able to look, yes, New Orleans was just as competitive, but to be able to look them in their eye and say, yeah, y'all got the chip before us, but y'all not going to just step over us because we were winning. All that stuff returns once we win, y'all. So from motto standpoint, I love Rise Up. And a year like this year, where you need to rise up / elevate from 4-12, I'll take it this year. Dwayne says 8 or 9 wins does not justify redoing Matt's contract and sucking it up for 2 years. You said get it off my chest before Tuesday, so I'm doing it. This does not make sense to me. Oh, let me stop you in your tracks. That nobody is justifying any of the money situation with Matt Ryan. I think you had to make a decision this year. If you were to cut Matt Ryan this year, we would financially would not have been able to sign draft choices, probably make a couple of free agents moves, you wouldn't have been able to do a lot of that stuff. The folks coming in here had to pick up the mess that was left and the signings from Thomas Dimitroff and his crew. Never have you heard me say, oh yeah, it's a great idea to sign a quarterback that's coming to redo a contract of a quarterback that has not performed on a level as far as wins and losses is concerned. You've never heard me say that. So, yeah, I hear you loud and clear. And it doesn't make sense, but you had no choice. I think in a perfect world, I think Terry Fontenot and Arthur Smith would have loved to start off their Atlanta Falcons careers with a brand new signal caller in a perfect world. But our financial world wasn't perfect. You probably weren't going to get a seasoned GM to come in here or a seasoned coach to come in here because one, they were dealing with the restraints of a bank account with insufficient funds. And two, they were dealing with a talent level on this team that probably evaluated out lower than what the incoming coaches would think. So it doesn't surprise me that there's never been a GM or never been a head coach. And as far as the financial situation is concerned, you almost get to a point where what are you going to do? You know. Mo Lewis says, crazy thing about the NFL, it is any given Sunday, we could go 12-5. Nobody knows. And that's the beauty of the NFL. You have 17 individual weeks, which makes it as great as the Atlanta Hawks run was, as great as the years of success of the Atlanta Braves have been. You have so many days where you have to realize you're going to lose 40 to 50 plus games a year in some seasons. In baseball, basketball, you're going to lose 20 to 30 games this year, no matter what. Football, whether it be college, high school, pro, you get one chance a week. And you don't have that many opportunities during the year. 17 chances this year for the Falcons to show that they are one of the better teams in the NFL. So to your point, Mo, you're absolutely right. Each week is its own story. Each week we're going to dissect it down like you're doing a frog back in biology class. You got 1 week to show that you're better than the other team. It's not like the Miami Heat, when the Hawks play them, you got 6 opportunities during the year. You win some, you lose some. Aside of division foes, you have one shot to see if you're the better team. Right. Dre says, Ryan has better vision based on eyeball and eyes. Well, I'll tell you this. I want him. I hope Matt Ryan somehow, some way is able to raise his game up. Somehow. He's got to, folks. And if you're going to sit here and root against Matt Ryan after July 27th, then I don't know what you're going to. If your justification is going to be, I'm rooting against Matt Ryan because we want another quarterback, then you might not want to be a fan. There are some folks like that too. I'd rather see Matt Ryan lose 100 games than why? If he's here. You want your team to win. And listen, there was some of this noise in 2016. There were folks calling for his head then. I wasn't quite there in 2016. I still had the pom-poms. I was still rooting for him to show the naysayers that he could do it. And he did for a couple of years. Now, we're at a point where, yeah, we kind of had our hands tied. And for those of you who think you're the capologist of the year or of the decade, and you can figure out how Atlanta is going to improve their lot, well, folks, please let me know. Please come and show me. Brother James, how you doing, man? Good to holler for you, man. James from Kentucky. James, we're getting ready to start this thing back up again, man. Let's get it started. My brother Rusty in North Carolina doing his thing. Good to see you coming to the group again, my brother. Mike Thomas, how you doing, sir? Thank you for coming in to Uncle Steve's Lounge on YouTube. Please feel free, everybody, to go over there and subscribe to me. We'd love to see y'all over there every now and then. Say offense real close, but defense a long way. And I agree with that. We do have a long way with the defense. Maybe Dean Pease will have enough to make these guys at least accountable in a different scheme, Mike. That's the only thing I see right now as far as the defense is concerned. I know we picked up a couple of little players. I'm excited about Grant coming in here at the safety position. I'm hoping he has a Keanu Neal type year where he comes and surprises a lot of folks. I see a lot of I can't remember the guy on NFL Network that he says he thinks he's going to be a real steal out of the draft. So that'll be interesting. Brother James says, you think the Falcons will use Pitts as tight end or more? Listen, I think we have enough wide receivers to do the job on the outside. Now, does that mean that Kyle Pitts will be regulated to staying in? I don't think so. I think you'll see him maybe 20% of the time, 25% of the time going out and getting into a slot position, possibly. I mean, what a big guy, and a big guy with speed. You have to use him every now and then out there. So James, I do think we're going to use him a little bit, but it would just be nice to see him get the tough yards inside, and especially when we start talking about in the red zone. That's what I'm looking forward to. Dre says Ryan has better. Says noodle arm is something. Matt Ryan is not. That mug can sling a ball. Listen, Matt Ryan has never been mistaken for a gunslinger. But Matt Ryan has been, for the most part, a pretty accurate quarterback. We can agree on that. And we really haven't had that type of offense that just airs it out like that all the time. Matt Ryan, for a great period of his career, has probably been one of the best 10 to 20 yard quarterbacks we've had. He's never been a slant throwing every 2 plays like Drew Brees was. He put the ball down there downfield quite a bit. Now, does he do it as consistent as he did it 4 or 5 years ago? Maybe not. There are a lot of factors in that too. He hasn't had a lot of time. Has he held the ball too much? Yeah, sometimes. But that's where this new coaching staff comes in, to correct those things we need to correct so Matt can get back on board and hopefully improve his lot towards what many of folks think is a Hall of Fame career. In order to make the Hall of Fame, in my book, I think you have to push the envelope and get this team to the championship. You're on the clock, bro. You're on the clock. And I want you to succeed. But there is no other person on this team that I want to succeed more than Matt Ryan, even if he's not my first choice right now to be our quarterback. But starting this week, folks, he's all we got. We have got to hope he's able to be upright, make better decisions, and be able to have the protection he needs to succeed. Mo said, nobody rooting against Matt Ryan. We just know that we're going to get what we're going to get. I got you. It's insanity, man. Come on. He ain't it. No, again, and I think you, I hope you're not reading this wrong. I'm with you as far as what I think his limitations are. But at this point, Mo, if we were going to do something, it would have been done in March, April, May, and before June, before the last time you could cut the folks without all the bonus money counting for next year. Now that he's here, we can sit here all day and talk about the deficiencies of Matt Ryan. We can. We can do a whole 24 hours on things of what he can't do. But right now, he's the starting quarterback of the franchise I hope you're rooting for. And if you're rooting for this franchise, you're going to root whether he's your – well, you know what? If I had a choice of quarterback here, I wanted to be Patrick Mahomes. That ain't happening. I wanted to be Aaron Rodgers. That's not happening. I wanted to be Deshaun Watson. That's not happening. The guy who's here right now is Matthew Ryan. And the guy that you're going to have to get a good season out of is Matt Ryan. So we can play the game of I root against you, Matt. But rooting against Matt Ryan is not going to make us succeed. And the two just don't align. Matt Ryan is our quarterback. Folks, get it right. And of course, if he does great things afterwards, we'll all be sitting here. I would love to eat crow about my thoughts about the draft. I would love to be able to say I was dead wrong. Matt Ryan led us to the promised land. But I will say this. My team is the Atlanta Falcons. And they tell me Matt Ryan is going to be my quarterback. Well, God dog it then, Matt Ryan is my quarterback. And I'm rooting for him. And offseason 2022, that's when I'll go back to the high criticism. Not saying I won't criticize during the week. But Matt Ryan is our quarterback, folks. That's the bottom line. Brandon says, Dean P's not a miracle worker, but accountability should be improved. And Brandon, we haven't had accountability on this team probably since after the Super Bowl. We don't have to say names. These guys been coddled. Some of the guys still on the team now been coddled. Oh, you went to the Super Bowl in 2016. Oh, you made a couple of catches and not. No. The greatest ammunition Arthur Smith and Terry Fontenot have is that there is nobody on this team that should be screaming about doing things different when you're coming off a 4-12 season. When you're coming off a 4-12 season, you have no room to talk about, well, we did it like this last year. Matter of fact, anybody that's on this roster for the last 3 years has zero ammunition to talk about, well, we did stuff like this last year. And the easiest speech in the world for Arthur to say, yeah, see where that got you. And I got this job because you guys couldn't perform. And I'm not just talking about Matt Ryan, folks. I'm talking about the defensive line. I'm talking about the offensive line. I'm talking about the running back position. I'm talking about the wide receivers. I'm talking about everybody. I'm talking about special teams. Yes, cool. We love you, but you missed the important kick against Kansas City. We haven't forgot. So the accountability level for this squad is paramount. We have to have accountability. That's something we haven't had in a while. Dre says, July 31st, 2021, Matt Ryan is the man, like it or not. Fans need to suck it up and jump on board and support him, win or loss. So 100% true. I cannot tell anybody not to like or dislike anybody. But one thing you can't help, this guy is here and he's gonna be here. And if you don't believe me, watch Tuesday when they run out for training camp. He's gonna be here. And as long as he's here, we gotta hitch our wagon to him. In order for him to succeed, for this franchise to succeed, he has to be the man. Dwayne said, I said clearly earlier, I support Matt. Dwayne, and this session is to get everything off your chest before Tuesday. Oh, no, don't get me wrong, Dwayne. Dwayne, sometimes you got to play along, brother. We're going to debate. Don't take it personally. I'm just messing with you. Anytime somebody brings up something, I want to give you the open forum to say what you want to say. And I'm going to give you what I'm going to say too. I agree with exactly what you're saying. So don't, y'all don't get, I'm probably the most, in my opinion, one of the most open people to even try to listen to some stuff that I know that's not true. But I'm at least going to give you your form. Walter say, if you're not a Falcon fan, then move on. There are other teams. Walter, I'm going to let you pin that in this group. Leave. The post I see about Walter, I could just, and I know some of y'all are the same way. I could pull out whatever's remaining of my hair on some of these posts. Julio Jones, come back, Julio. Julio, I love you. Matt Ryan is the worst quarterback in the history of the Atlanta Falcons, and I'm not going to stay on the team. We ought to post a picture of a door opening and say, leave then. Leave. When we have conversations in this forum, we're having it together as Falcon fans. And as far as the offseason is concerned, I think it's fair game. From the time the season ends until this week, you have all offseason to let it out, get it all, the gripes and all of that. But if y'all think for 1 minute when we start training camp, I'm going to sit here and start discussing what we should have done in the draft, that's wasted energy. This is an Atlanta Falcons fan group. We need to band together for this Atlanta Falcon team. You still have the right to criticize. You still have the right to say what you want to say, but you better support the team. If you're not supporting the team, it's a whole different story. You don't like Matt Ryan? So what? A lot of people don't. But Matt Ryan is the quarterback of your team. So get ready. One way or the other, he's going to be your quarterback. Dwayne, I'm not going to appreciate it. Dwayne, good money, brother. You didn't even need to go there. Dre, Steve, you still trying to be my assistant as water boy for the Falcons. Look at what the water boy makes for a season. Hey, man, listen. I would love to spend time down there as a water boy down there for the Falcons. That's Walter said, that's right, Steve. Said Dre said $53,000 a year. I'll take it. I'll take it in a heartbeat. More importantly this year, as we go into the season, and one of the reasons why I wanted to talk about training camp, this year I will be doing through the Atlanta Bird Gang as well. I will be doing a lot of pregame stuff down there in the Home Depot lot. I'll have my Atlanta Bird Gang stuff on. I'll also have my truck down there and doing some live stuff on the spot this year. Y'all feel free to come look me up. I'll tell y'all the first couple of games, I was going to try to make that preseason game for Cleveland, but I'm not quite 100% yet. I'll let you guys know. I'll definitely be there for the Philadelphia game. We'll do some stuff before the game. I look forward to getting to see a lot of you folks. Some of you I've seen and know, some of you I don't. We need to listen. If we're going to go through this, let's go through it together. That's the fun way to do it. For those people who just can't stand the fact that the Falcons didn't get the player you wanted, or we traded away the player you wanted, y'all go kick rocks, man. I'm Dirty Bird, rising up, brotherhood, whatever you want to call it, red and black in 2021 and beyond. And we got to start getting that mentality. The headline story for this week is that Kanye West is filling up a stadium intended for the Atlanta Falcons. I know there are some Kanye West fans out there, but I apologize, y'all. Kanye West, to me, is somebody who hadn't had a legitimate hit in years. And talking about Yeezys and clothing. The fact that that man had more people in that stadium than we had on a couple of games in 2019 is ridiculous. We've got to change that narrative. We've got to get in there. The Philadelphia game, I get it, y'all. We're 4-12 last year. A lot of folks probably jumped off the bandwagon. The PSLs are high. I get all that. I'm not naive. I'm not going to get in anybody's pocket about spending money for the organization if they're not living up to it. But as far as on this forum, in these groups, bring the noise, man. Bring it. Falcons going to need it. They need to hear it. I'm going to be in there yelling. I'm going to have a hoarse voice after the game for post-game talk because I want my Falcons to be successful. That's what this whole thing was about. This is about getting folks fired up. We've got to. As I said before, at the beginning, in the words of G Money of New Jack City, we all we got. And we are. There aren't fan bases feeling sorry for the Atlanta Falcons. And when I see everybody talk about the trolling of 28-3 and all that, bro, they pass me by with all that mess. It's 2021 now. We on the bigger and better things. We on to getting the team that's going to erase the memory well, I don't want to say erase, that will push the memory of 28-3 back further. That's what we need. Brother John Harris said, oh, that's my retirement job. Waterboy. Dre says, Waterboy for life. Rise up. Brotherhood. Noodle on 101. Oh, man. Lisa said, fun. I'll look for you pregame. I will be there, Lisa. Without a doubt, I will. Rusty said, I never understood DQ's strategy to play the sticks on 3rd and 14. We end up giving up 15. I never understood that mentality of letting the wide receiver catch the ball and make the tackle. Only problem is we couldn't tackle. And look, all of that, Rusty, all of that, my friend, is in the past. We talk about that like we talk about a Marion Campbell team. Look it up if you don't know who he is. We could talk about all that like we talk about Jeff George when he was here. All the people that's gone and in the past, they're gone. Dan Quinn is gone. Raheem Morris is gone. Starting Tuesday, we got to start talking about folks in the now. Folks who are moving forward. And right now, it's Arthur Smith. Right now, Mike Davis is our running back. Right now, Calvin Ridley and Russell Gage are our wide receivers. Kyle Pitts and Hayden Hurst are our tight ends. Grady Jarrett is our big-time guy on the defensive line. A.J. Terrell is our emerging star at cornerback. I didn't wear my jersey today. I have my A.J. jersey over there. We're gonna start putting up new jerseys on the board so we can start getting behind these cats. And it starts this week. Folks, preseason game is not far away. Preseason game is not far away at all. Hall of Fame game is next Thursday, I think. I think it's next Thursday. We're about to kick this bad boy off. We got to get these folks fired up, man. Got to get this base fired up. Dre says Pastor Troy is the hype man. His music is hype, but energy-wise, is it not big to me? Kanye is a question mark. Yeah, and I know, Kanye was born here. I get it, but Kanye has always kind of repped Chi-Town, and it's hard for me to. And I know when you get older, sometimes you get a little more nostalgic for the past. I know his mom taught here, rest her soul, and all of that. I get it. I guess I'm just not buying the all of a sudden Kanye love for Atlanta. But listen, if y'all want to buy it and if that's what it takes to get you started, more power to you. I'm good. John says, if you bring it, we will come. We will cheer you. If you don't, we will boo. And that's fair too. Yeah, we're going to come and support you, but you got to give us a reason to cheer. You got to give us a reason to come back. You have to give us a reason to say, we got your back. The effort alone should get you there. I'm not saying that we didn't have teams that didn't get effort. I think even at 4-12, there was some poor efforts at times, but I never say I saw this team quit. Didn't see him quit. The mere fact that we had 7 games that were one possession. So they didn't quit. I give him credit on that. Tidy says off topic, but anyone see a few weeks ago that the NBA floor cleaners made an average of $80,000 per year? I'm in the wrong profession. That makes 2 of us. I'm in the wrong profession too. That's a lot of money right there when you start talking about, man. I might need to put in look. If I didn't have as many years in as I had right now, that'd be a decision that I would be thinking about right now when you start talking about 80,000. Woo, man, that's a lot of money. So that's when you start back to the Falcons. 80,000 gets your attention. Going forward, starting this Tuesday, the critiques won't stop, folks. I'm not going to stop critiquing. But we do need to start being more team-oriented. We do need to start being together as far as fan base for our team. We had a lot of fun poking holes in the Julio Jones story. We had a lot of fun at the draft talking about what should have happened, could have happened, and things of that nature. But all of that stuff culminates into where we are now. And on Tuesday, they're going out there with the 80-plus folks on the roster, and they're going to go out and try to trim down to the best 53, or it might be more now, but the best 53-plus man roster that we can and get this thing ready for September 12th. We are not that far away. We are weeks away from that season opener. And we better be ready. Because I'm going to tell you, Philadelphia is going to be ready, man. Philadelphia is going to come down here, and they are in the same position we are. Philadelphia has 0 to lose. They are coming down here, Jalen Hurts or whoever. They are coming down here to start their season off on a good note. They won 4 games too. Walter says, preach, Steve, we got to do better as real fans. I want us to be able to get that atmosphere back. Look, last year is gonna have an asterisk as far as fan bases and stuff like that, because even when they let some people in at the end of the year, it was never the same. It was never the same. This year, 1 year removed, this should be so loud in that place. You should, for the first time in Mercedes, have an atmosphere almost similar to, and I think I wasn't able to go to this game, but my wife and my son is like my little second conscience when it comes to the Falcons. His moment so far in Mercedes-Benz was when Deion Jones picked off Drew Brees to seal the win in 2017. That sounds like that was similar to a lot of the moments we were talking about in the Georgia Dome near the end. He said that place was electric. I'll be quite honest with you. At Mercedes yet, we haven't reached that. Maybe this year we start that momentum as a fan base. Maybe at word of mouth, we start that momentum now. We can build something. And it might be rise up. It might be brotherhood. Shoot, it might be something totally different. But whatever it is, as fans, we need to get that good feeling going. Now, the team is going to have to do their part. No doubt. Starting 0-4 is going to make all that I'm saying a moot point. But at least we can start off by saying, we'll do this. We'll buy in. When the fans buy in, it makes it just a better atmosphere. It really does. Lisa said, exactly, Steve. Kanye reps the Chi-Town hard. I'm not enamored with celebrities who rep the Falcons. They are inconsistent. See Clifford Harris. He has repped the Broncos and even the Aints. Jeezy repped the Aints before. Seeing Kanye in a Falcon jersey didn't move me at all. In fact, I was confused. Lisa, anything about Kanye is slightly confusing. So that doesn't surprise me at all that you would have that thought. He is an interesting character. I'll just say that because I know there are some people in his spell It feels like, I mean, there were some people that were legitimately, and I thought they were joking, legitimately thinking that guy could be president. So who am I to tell people what they think? Anyway, I appreciate the interaction tonight, folks. I know we went a little bit over than we needed to, but thank you for joining me today. We're gonna have a lot more coming up in the next couple of weeks. I know the training camp kicking off, that feeling coming back. We'll be here for you. We'll pop in during the week. We'll talk to you all later on. Definitely talk to you on Sunday. But as training camp starts and stories, we'll touch on them as fans. Don't forget, get your T-shirt, get your Atlanta Bird Game T-shirt. Tidy posted it in this thread, but also in the Atlanta Bird Game thread on the home page at the very top. He has that pinned in. Get your Atlanta Bird Game shirt. Show your love at the first open practice on Mercedes-Benz Stadium. I'll be there. I'm sure a lot of other folks will be there. And also, don't forget, again, shamelessly plugging the YouTube channel, Uncle Steve's Lounge. Don't forget to please subscribe. Give me an opportunity to entertain you during the year. We are going to be doing live reaction videos from there. If you don't know what that is, look on YouTube. Put in live reaction football games. We're going to do that so we can all do some things together, especially for the away games. I plan to be at the home games. So that's something I look forward to doing together as a group. Folks, thank you. And Tidy just threw that in there again. Thank you again, Tidy, for throwing the T-shirt in. Y'all have a great night, and more importantly, have a great week. Take care of yourselves. Atlanta Bird Game out.